Let's go.
Jordan, it's a pleasure to have you as a guest, mate. It really is. Right, it's a Leg It podcast with myself, Tom Wickstead.
It's me, Andy Grant.
It's me, Jordan Neild.
And this is a Leg It podcast special.
Oh, fucking...
All the lads.
All the boys.
Been a long day on it, boys.
So this podcast, for anyone who's tuning in, is a little bit of a thank you podcast, a little bit of a reminisce. It's a little bit of a taking stock, a little bit of a look to the future, and whatever else we end up rambling on about, I guess.
Yeah. George, obviously from the Sportscast, first time on the Monday.
Yeah. The big leagues.
I don't receive it.
He's qualified for Europe, hasn't he?
No, so for those who don't know, George does the Sportscast with Andy. I love listening to it. It's good to be on the other side of the microphone and sort of listen to it through the headphones and such. So massive thanks to you, mate, for doing it.
Don't start saying your thank yous too much. We've just been for a little scran in Bacaro. Shout out to Paddy Smith.
Yeah.
And someone just bought him a beer thinking it was you.
He goes, Tom.
Did he really?
I said, cheers, mate.
You took it.
He said, your beard's looking well.
I was like, Tom can't grow a beard.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah, you take it.
No, mate. Well, honestly, we 2.5 years ago. It's crazy how far the podcast has come. 2.5 years of just every single month. Like we said it during the live event. Like literally 2.5 years, every single Monday, just plugging away slowly but surely. With the most incredible people who we've had sat either in this studio, the studio we used to do it before at, your living room as well. I think we had a bit of a hug, didn't we, at the end of the live event, because it was a little bit special to think that 2.5 years ago when this idea came about of doing a podcast, obviously me and Andy and then you, Jord, came about. It was, we didn't think it would go to where it has done. It has, sort of reached all areas of the world, which is incredible. Some of the conversations we've sat on in have been just special. If I think back to the very first episode when we had Tubes on, I met you in Crewe, Sandbach, I think it was, Junction 17. Drove down to Sky Studios. We did that interview. We stupidly didn't put it on YouTube because we didn't record it. I didn't have a fucking clue how to do the video. We did the audio in a back room of Sky Studios.
And had a beer with Robbie Fowler.
I had a beer with Robbie Fowler in that rugby club, which was literally 2 miles away from.
Every podcast has got to be brilliant.
yeah. This podcasting stuff's easy.
Yeah.
I think that podcast, the first ever episode, went really well.
You know what I think, mate? If we can, not to kind of, listen, I wouldn't change anything, but I think we started off too bold,
Yeah, Tubes is a big guest, isn't it?
Mate, I think the first 10 guests we had, Tubes, John Bishop. We've done some really good guests the first kind of maybe 10 or 20 that probably don't get the recognition they deserve in terms
Harry
of numbers.
Finlay, I think, was in the top.
Harry Finlay was a massive draw.
Do you know what? From that Harry Finlay, and you can tell from the comments, we were put off because Harry Finlay was sick at the time.
He had food poisoning. How he done an hour or whatever he did.
Yeah.
I've never watched that one back, because I feel...
Yeah.
Is it any good?
Yeah, at that point I was just watching him, you know what I mean? I loved it because obviously, a big part of my life, the gambling and the betting and stuff like that. I'm not a degenerate gambler, but I love it. But so obviously listening to him was great for me, but I loved it, yeah.
I think from that podcast...
It's a bit raw back then,
Yeah, we... because we hadn't gotten in a flow, and I've talked about this before, a podcast is such a dance. You just got to get... It's like when you have... It's like this now. This will be a brilliant podcast. We'll really enjoy it because we know each other.
Tom say so himself.
Yeah.
No, we know
switching off.
We know each other. So it's not that awkwardness where you've just met and then next minute you're launching someone in front of a microphone and you're firing questions at them left, right, and centre. With Harry Finlay, we weren't in that dance yet, just yet.
Even me and you
together. Exactly, me and you.
It's so difficult because, obviously you need sort of interview technique, but you also need to learn how to segue, and you also need to learn how to judge your character and stuff like that. And it's hard to do that if you're not even sure of the person you're working with.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
100%, mate. Yeah.
But I think that's a lot of things people look over. They watch a podcast and go, "Oh, that wasn't very good," but they don't understand what comes in.
The dynamics and exactly. And I think with Harry Finlay, some of the people who'd commented certainly said that we were firing questions at him left, right, and centre. I think, partly my fault. Like, I didn't have a clue about the gambling thing, and so I think that if we could ever do Harry Finlay again, I think it would be, you'd be able to see from the sidelines how much we've come on as just, even, I've said this so many times, I don't mean to rabbit on, but with podcasting or even sitting down with people, like, we're not the stars of the show.
No.
The person who's in George's seat there is the star of the show.
It's a learning curve though, you know, like we've done sort of, not to differentiate, but we've done 10 episodes of the Sportcast. It's every week you sort of learn how to be and sort of how to, you know, like handle yourself and how to handle an hour of talking in front of cameras and stuff like that. It's not something, speaking in front of cameras and on mic and stuff like that, is not something that comes natural to people.
No.
You know, it's not like something you just wake up and you go, right, I'm great at this. You've got to work at it, and when you work at it in front of something that's recording you the whole time, quite difficult.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And you know, as you say, you two have said to me plenty of time, you look back on old episodes and you think, bit cringe that. But there's no other way to do it. There's no other way to do it than to get in the seat and do it.
That's one thing I'm most proud of. I mean, we could go back and dissect every episode, and I agree what you say with Harry. You know, I've ended up becoming friends with him, and I'm sure he'd be more than up for coming on again.
On pay-per-view.
I speak to him, I speak to him most weeks now, and one thing that I'm most proud of is that you do those episodes where we travelled all the way down to Newton Abbey, come away from it because you had food poisoning, thinking, that was maybe not a great episode, or we've asked them too many questions, whatever. But we've done loads of episodes where, you know, we didn't have a guest, it was just me and you. And not that I could never be bothered talking to you, but I'm thinking, what do we talk about? Or I'm thinking, I can't really be bothered driving up to the studio now, or we're putting them out and they're getting like 200 views and stuff. And that's the thing I'm most proud of, that we stuck with it.
Yeah,
because those days when, I know we always say we never done it for viewers, and we didn't, and we still don't now, but it could be, and it was at times, thinking, what's the point?
It's easy to jack it in, isn't it? It's easy to go, right, Tom, we had the boss run there, but let's leave it. But like, sort of, we're having conversations now as a three about sort of where we can take the podcast and the plans we've got, which are massive, and like the people coming on and all that stuff. But if you are the, you know, mid 2019, you went, right, we're getting 200 views there, but you know, should we just leave it or do a podcast every now and then? It's so easy to do. It's easy just to give up, isn't it, really?
And the great thing is, like you said loads of times, Tom, it's so easy now to make a podcast. You know, you don't even need any equipment, really. You can just shoot on your iPhone.
Or
you
Zoom.
Really need to Zoom.
Yeah.
So everyone can do it, which is great. And listen, if you want to have a go and do it. But stick with it and do it for the right reasons, you know. And I'm grateful that I harp on about it all the time. But if you're trying to do a podcast to make money, jack it in now. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? If you're trying to become famous, one, why would you want to be famous? Yeah. But two, you know, it ain't happening.
The monetary thing, like with like anything in life, if you're successful or you work hard enough, the monetary stuff comes, doesn't it? But if you're getting into podcasting thinking, right, I'm going to make a few quid straight away, you're very much mistaken. But like, you know, I'm very grateful to be able to get to this side of like the mic with you lads, and you know, we've been working together for a while to see what goes into it, because I had no idea. And I've learned obviously from you lads, and it's not easy. Do you know what I mean? You don't turn up and just like have a beer with your mates and it's great.
Yeah.
I think there's been loads of people who've defo looked at me and just thought, fucking anyone can fucking do that.
If he can, anyone can.
Fair play. I'd probably think that as well, looking at me. But yeah, it's a grind, isn't it?
Yeah.
Listen, it's
like if we'd have, let's say we were in a normal business, I don't know, let's say we were selling tables or something like that, and we kept at trying to sell tables for 2.5 years, and we hadn't made any money, we hadn't taken anything out, you know, that would be considered pretty much a failure, wouldn't it?
It's an analogy, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Any other business where you've not took a penny from it?
From it for 2.5 years, you'd be going like, we need to jack it in. We really do.
But on the other side of it, you look at sort of with the position that the podcast is in now. Like, although the patience and stuff that you have shown, and then sort of I've jumped in at the, you know, little glory hunter, just right in. Like, when you look at the position the podcast in, you didn't start it to, you know, you didn't sit down on episode 1 in Andy's kitchen and go, right, let's do this so we can take $1,000 out next month. That wasn't your goal. Do you know what I mean? Like that stuff will and does come to anything that you work hard at. But as you say, obviously, if any other business and you didn't make money, you would jack it in. But
well, there's one for you then. Let's say you had a sofa company or a table company, And for 2.5 years, you and your mate worked at it, never took a penny, but you had a fucking great laugh over those 2.5 years. Is it still a failure?
Yeah. As long as you're breaking even.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, what classes like it's just because of within business you class it.
But to be honest,
the metric is very like it's black or white, isn't it? The metric is like, have you made money? Have you not made money?
And I think even in podcasts, people might look at us and go, "You've been going for 2.5 years. How many views have you had, or how many subscribers?" And they might go, "You are a failure." I don't know. I look at it and go, "I've had a fucking ball these last 2 years. I've literally loved."
I've done 10 episodes with you, one with you now, and I've not sat here once and thought this is hard work. Do you know what I mean? I've loved every second of it. Gonna love every second of what comes. But like, not to blow smoke, but we've got we and you lads have got a very sustainable product now, and like where we're at and where we're going is very exciting. Do you know what I mean? So although it has been a graft, but
and that is down, which I want to kind of make this episode about, is just the support. It's been 100%. It's been unbelievable. I mean, we just joked then we went for some food with one of the podcast guests, Paddy Smith. Got a place on Castle Street. Went for something to eat, and someone recognised us from the podcast, bought us a beer. You know, that support, not buying us beers when we're out, but
keep doing that.
Keep doing that, please. But that support from, you know, watching the videos every Monday, now the Sportscast every Friday, you know, support on Patreon, you know, asking people to pay £1 a week to support the office space that needs upkeeping, you know, for the mics, to everything, asking people to, if they enjoy it, to pay £1 a week. So it's a big ask.
Yeah.
And, you know, the hundreds and now thousands of people who've done that. That's who I'm so grateful for. You know, it's
Friday night was, well, last Friday when you did the live podcast, was just like real life evidence of that. Like the energy in that room, like everyone was.
You said the demographic as well, which was
like,
cool.
100%. Like, for example, there was people there from my missus' workplace. There was women there. There was men. There was lads with the dads. There was lads on a lads' night out. There was older fellas.
Couples.
There was couples. The demographic was brilliant, and that's testimony to what you lads have done, and the fact that you're including everyone. The range of guests you've had, like, it's not sort of a one trick pony. Do you know what I mean? We talk about this one thing and that's it. So sort of expanded on everything. And
some of the chats have went proper deep as well, haven't they? When you think back to some of the guests,
that's just natural, isn't it? Like I think when you've got a natural environment, people are going to do that, aren't they? Like,
and again, that's down to the support again, because we've been able now to get an office, which is when you come in here and you have a beer and stuff. It is nice and chilled, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I do think it makes guests relax and stuff, and
the look at the memorabilia. And,
you just feel like you're just quite at home.
Well, you've had guests who aren't going to be on other podcasts, which I think, you know, I sort of still look at the Lego podcast from sort of a fan perspective, because I still watch it, and I've been watching it from the start. You've got guests on that aren't going to go on other podcasts, and then you see the comments, and like, you know, you'll have someone on who maybe people don't know, and they go, do you know what, that was one of the best podcasts I've ever listened to, because you're giving a story that people haven't heard. You know, we all want to hear things and learn things every day. That's just natural human instinct. But like I think your best performing podcast, or the best performing podcast from Lego Podcast, have been the people who aren't as known.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Like that Owen McVeigh podcast, right? If you'd have
on that one, the cameras weren't working on that, and I'm actually grateful, because I was crying my eyes out for that.
I was crying listening to it.
It was hard.
So many messages from that.
So from the Owen McVeigh podcast, and Mark was incredible. If you'd have, like, you could look at that podcast and go, right, you know, from how normal people, from how like YouTube view it in terms of views and things like that, it's not, you maybe not class it as, you know, doesn't get the views, you know, fucking Mayweather, Logan Paul and all this lot. But some of the messages and how that's impacted people 100%. And how it even impacted me and you, you know, that, you know, fingers crossed that will last for, you know, forever, and people will always remember that.
100%. And
Mark messaged me and he said, you know, don't share this, but, and he didn't tell me who they were from, he didn't give no confidentiality away, but he just said, look at these messages, and he kind of blanked out names and blanked out messages, and he just showed me some of the support that people had sent from that. People saying, you know, look, I've got, you know, this, I want to give up my time, I want to give up this, what can I do? He received so many messages of support, and like you say, Tom, didn't get 1 million views, but
it's a real story.
He's just got, I don't know, 10, 20 people saying, look, I want to help, you know, sick kids, how can I do it?
It's who you reach, though. It's not the views, is it? like, for example, you didn't sit down on your first episode going, do you know what, the first thing we're going to do is get to 100,000 views. And when we sat down and we developed the Sportcast, we didn't go, right, let's do the Sportcast so we can get, 10 million views. That's not the end goal. Like, for example, the Hillsborough podcast where you spoke to the lads who, were at Hillsborough.
Another heavy one, that.
Like, my wife said to me, oh my God, I've just listened to the Hillsborough podcast that the lads did. I didn't even know what Hillsborough was. And that's just like, obviously insular to my family, but imagine how many people did that and went, oh my God, that's a real thing. Do you know what I mean? And like, whether you get 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, it doesn't matter, because there's always one person who's going to go, I didn't know that today when I woke up, but now I go to bed and I do.
Yeah.
Mate, I think every podcast we've done, there's been one meaningful messages from each one. I genuinely think that.
And that means way more than any view, 100%.
For me, it does. I mean, I granted it won't for everyone, because people do podcasts for different reasons. I get some people want to make a living from it, which is fine. Obviously, this is a hobby for us all. So for me, with it being a hobby, to have a message to say, wow, do you know what I mean?
Oh, it's madness, isn't it?
It is heavy. I remember when we first started getting them and you were like, obviously I'd had a little bit of experience with the motivational speaking, but Tom used to ring me and go, my God, I've just seen this message, oh my God. And I was like, it's nice. It's nice.
I was thrown back when people like randomly DM'd me or DM'd the pod. I was like, this is insane, this. Like, it is mad, isn't it?
It does bring me proper happiness. I feel like I've got like, without trying to be like, wow, I feel dead lucky, like, to be sitting here with my mates, having a couple of beers, having boss conversations, and then thankfully people go, oh, I really enjoyed it, Andy. Like, the job satisfaction you get, it's brilliant.
Oh.
And again, it's back to the support. So for that, I just want to say massive,
100%, mate. Like,
massive thanks.
Even me, like I say, new to the party, and I think the live show, people coming over to me, like just opening up conversation and being like, oh, do you know what, I really enjoyed the Sportcast, like making a joke about the tips we give out and like me winning, you winning, but literally coming out the way to say like, oh, that was great, do you know what I mean? And then you give conversation back and you think, what a rewarding couple of minutes, do you know what I mean? You spoke to someone you'd probably never have spoke to in your life before.
And it's not easy to come up and give a compliment to random strangers, by the way.
Not in modern day society. It's
not, is it?
It's viewed, sometimes in society now, if you're kind, it's viewed as a bit of a...
How often have you been into an independent restaurant or something, right? And at the end of it, you've had a really nice meal and you felt the need to go up to the chef and say, you know what, mate, I just want to say that was really lovely, that. You don't do it, do you?
I don't think I've ever done that.
I've never done it, but I probably should have. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or I've never had great waitress service or something, and went over and said, excuse me, that was, thanks for looking after me the way you did. Yeah. So I think as a society, we don't really go up and say thank you as much as maybe we should.
I don't think we'll ever be able to thank the people who watch and listen, though. Do you know what I mean? It's one of them, we can probably say all the thanks we want, but like just them tuning in is their choice. It's like, it's such a thing that
no one will be tuning in now. They'd be like, they haven't got a guest on. They're just talking about everything that they've done. But
mate, on that Friday, I think I messaged both of you anyway. On that Friday, I was in Tesco, and a guy, I'm pretty sure he'd be listening, lorry driver, I can't remember his name. He came up to me. I was looking at pasta, trying to get a microwave
penny,
trying to get a microwavable meal.
Tagliatelle.
And then he went, you're Tom Wixon, aren't you? I went, oh Jesus Christ, what have I done?
No.
He said, mate, I just want to say, like, I really enjoy the podcast. And then he showed me all the things on Spotify, all the podcasts he was listening to, obviously Owen and some of the recent ones and stuff like that. And just, again, I'm genuinely not a Glory, I'm not a big fan of, Glory Hunters or any of that nonsense, because it's all bullshit really. But it was mad. It was mad.
The things we got planned as well, like the way the podcast is going.
So do you think we should announce our big sponsors then now?
Yeah, go on.
So
just hide that.
Well, I know, yeah. It's probably a big... Well, it's not got off to a good start to our sponsors, by the way. But ignore my Under Armour top. We are pleased to announce that from today onwards, the Leggett podcast, the Sportscast, will be sponsored by Monterex.
Massive.
Boom.
Massive.
Buzzing to get into bed, so to speak, with these lads. The gear is great. From now on, you're going to see us all kitted out in it. Not because they're sponsoring it, which they are, but it's genuinely good gear. Yeah. It's an athletic wear brand. They're on their up. Liverpool-based, brilliant stuff.
Brilliant
Really nice lads, and it's something I've been really passionate to try and, you know, I wanted to develop a partnership with something I felt that not just mine, but our kind of, you know, we were aligned to a little bit, and it sounds a bit thingy, doesn't it? But you could like sell your soul. Don't get me wrong. If like someone come and said, "Oh, Andy, you know."
Spotify.
Spotify said,
I'll say anything on this podcast.
If they like, fuck Monterex, we'll give you. I'd be like, sorry lads. No, joking aside though, it is important. Like when you get offered to like get sponsored the podcast and stuff, which is great. You want to kind of have it with someone who kind of got the same values
on the same
and stuff.
Trajectory, like
And I think the Monterex lads, it's a new young sports athletic brand. Looks good, feels good, run by good business people, nice lads. And
only young as well, aren't they? I've
really
never met
young
them both,
lads.
but you two have.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, when I honestly, like, I don't want to embarrass the lads when to listen to this or whatever, but when I met them both, I was so impressed with, like, you know, the vision, the company, the you know, what they want to do with their brand. And it, like, me, you and Andy have had sort of chats, you know, off air about where we want to go, and where they want to go is very, very similar. You know, I just felt that, you know, we were on the same trajectory as I've just said, and, you know, I personally couldn't, you know, you wouldn't want a better sponsor really, the people on the
they're out in Vegas as we record.
So
are they flying out today or
Monday?
Monday.
Yeah, so
they're out now,
in Vegas,
So they sponsor Leon Edwards, who's, you know, a prominent UFC fighter. You know, maybe the best that Britain's got to offer. He's fighting Nate Diaz.
Hopefully when this goes out, he will have beaten Nate Diaz. Hopefully.
Yeah.
What a fucking big fighter, Nate Diaz. Fucking hell.
Yeah, mate, they're on the big stage now, and like, you know, testament to
I'm
them.
gutted it's just we never got sponsored a week or two before, because we could have went out there with them.
Do you reckon we could have? Yeah.
Don't know. Let's hope he wins.
I'll be asking him,
go back to Vegas,
you know, in this sponsorship contract did it mention going out, you know, watching sponsored athletes, but no, it's massive. So follow Monterex. They're on Instagram. Again, great brand, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of them in combination with the Legged podcast. So thanks to the lads at Monterex.
Yeah, 100%. What about taking the Legged podcast further then? What do you think about? Like...
Well, you said, Tom, and I feel bad about knocking you down a little bit, but you mentioned, and I don't mind, you know, naming other kinds of things to do and emulate, because you know, what's that saying? The best form of imitation is, what is it?
Oh, had a few beers.
Best
form of flattery is imitation.
Takes that. We just roll with that.
Yeah, run with that.
So I've said from day one, I think biggest podcast on the planet, Joe Rogan. We've tried to kind of make this as Joe Rogan-esque as possible with the, you know, the laptop and the TV and the beers and I think True Geordie in the UK does a great podcast. He's probably the only podcast I listen to in the UK. We've tried to do with this. You said to me a while back, there's a guy, Barstool Sports. He goes to me, mate, they do pizza reviews, you know, it looks good fun. I was like, mate, pizza reviews? He's like, mate, we should do it. It'll be a laugh. I was like, And I was like, okay. Not me. And then you put on the Instagram pizza reviews. 150 comments.
Yeah.
People want to see pizza reviews.
Mate, there's a guy.
I am in.
Everyone's like this. Can't win.
Mate, there's a guy, I think he's called Rate My Takeaway.
Original.
Yeah, literally. He started like 11 months ago. It's like up to 500,000 subscribers. Like, people love.
Yeah.
So that is when it's a good segue onto some of the different things that we want to take the podcast.
Well, mate, in an ideal world, and this is not me asking everyone to give me the money, but if we, for example, had a load of Patreon members, which was enough for us to do this full time, I would love nothing more to have a show every day of the week.
100%.
Yeah.
Monday would be like, you know, an inspirational guest or something. Tuesday, you know, food reviews.
Fucking about.
Wednesdays, you know, we sit here and, you know, put the whale to rights over a couple of beers. Thursdays, we go and do pranks. We go on a road trip. We go Friday, do the sports. I would love nothing more than that.
Saturday.
No, let's
I'll be
just
divorced.
5 days. 5 days are enough time.
Sunday will just be me like that. Welcome to the Legged podcast.
Quivering rat, beer fair, and just.
Yeah, I mean that is the ultimate goal. When we talk about our plans for the future, I mean the ultimate goal is to have, you know, a big enough support network with people who enjoy the podcast, enjoy us, to have 5 shows a week. Obviously, that would me and us giving up our jobs to do this full time, which hopefully will come in time. But I mean, yeah, who knows? I mean, make pizza reviews could be a possible little Tuesday episode.
Well, not only just pizza
it's not
reviews,
just
like,
that, it's just being...
like I might, you know, next minute we're doing tikka masala in fucking wherever.
What are you thinking? Because this is all new to me. You're thinking like we getting takeaways and we eat it here and you watch?
No. We do it outside the take. Listen, right. The whole point of these sort of reviews, right, is, and it's an honest review. It genuinely is. Like, so if it's shit,
we're not taking brown envelopes of
no,
to talk about,
if it's shit food, then it's shit food. So we obviously rate it 0 through 10.
Is that not a bit cheeky though?
No. It is what it like. The people want a proper review, don't they?
I'd feel terrible. I would feel terrible going to my local chippy, you know, getting a chicken kebab, sitting here with you, eating my chicken kebab, and
we're not eating it. We eat it outside their gaff.
Right out the gaff.
Yeah. And if the owner comes, listen, we have to be honest. We have to be. I'm more than happy to. Like,
I feel a bit like a shit house here. I don't know what I could be.
And Neil's be going, lovely, lovely.
So by the time this comes out, we'll have done a review. Yeah.
Will we?
We're going to do it tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah.
That's the first time learning about this.
We were going to do it. We were going to do it before.
Yeah.
But then we thought we'd best wait because, like, we thought
we're going somewhere after this.
So we're going to one of the 150 places that people have mentioned on fucking...
And what are we going to do?
We'll talk about it up there.
No. But...
So anyway, the reason why is... we're not going to go to big corporates and that sort of thing. Independent businesses over COVID, again, don't want to bring COVID up again, but independent businesses from COVID have been fucked, haven't they? These past 15 months.
I love how Tom... just trying to turn it into like he's the hero now, isn't he? I'm trying to save independent pizza places, Andy. Come on.
Listen, not just pizza.
I'm a podcaster, but I love the people.
Pizza for the people.
Mate, Bezos is sending himself to the fucking moon, isn't he? Elon is flying himself to Mars, and that absolute fucking weirdo Zuckerberg, which I hate, is selling everyone's data, isn't he? And we're here to support independent businesses.
We're here for the people.
We're here for the people.
Pay £4 a month and we're here for the people.
So yeah, that's
okay. I can get on board. So what are we doing? Ideally, like a once a week thing or something, or what?
So we go in, we order,
yeah,
and we give.
Who's videoing this? Us.
Yeah.
That's all new to me. I'm sorry. What?
You got the longest arms.
Yeah, so with that, so that's what we're going to do with that. Any takeaways, whatever, and it doesn't have to be in Liverpool because we're going global.
Yeah, what people should do is tag the favourite takeaway, get them to invite us down, and we'll be there.
I'm on to use too. This is just a ploy to get free food, isn't it?
No, we have to pay for the food because otherwise it's brown envelope shit.
Okay,
we have to pay for the food. Yeah,
we've seen enough of that.
And also, if it's pizzas, we have to do the same pizza. We can't mix it up because then we're messing up with it. So it has to be a margarita pizza.
Is that not a bit boring?
Nope.
Bit vanilla?
Nope.
Your sex life's on fire, isn't it?
No, it has to.
Like
it has to.
Like Peter Gate.
We need to have sex. Come on, babe.
No, it has
The things I'm going to do for you.
If 1 minute we're doing...
I've got to lie on top of you and move my hips real fast.
No, 2 Amstel.
We have to. We have to. It has to be the same.
Yeah, I'm on with
but
that.
it can't be margarita. Come on, give me some.
No, because we have to do a pizza that, like...
Pepperoni.
Mate, not everyone's vanilla, Tom.
No. It doesn't have to be margarita.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It has to be the same, because otherwise, 1 minute we're doing pepperoni, and next we're doing...
I get that. But just not vanilla. Not
all right,
vanilla.
let's do
vanilla pizza, not margarita.
Whatever. Well, pepperoni.
I'm going to be too pissed to even know what a pizza looks like at the end of this.
If we make it to this pizza gaff, I'll be fucking surprised.
Nah, mate, I'm on board.
Yeah, so anyway,
let's decide on a pizza then.
Let's do this off here.
Are you a bit
no, listen.
fussy? Are you a fussy eater?
No, not at all, no.
As long as there's no pineapple, I'm game.
Yeah, same. I agree on that.
Yeah.
Pineapple doesn't... Well, can we agree on that?
Fruit and hot things shouldn't mix.
No, you're right. Yeah, if you want to do pepperoni's fine, yeah.
He's wild, isn't he, Tom?
Don't push the boat. Listen, if you want to put ham on...
No. So, should we do pepperoni then?
Yeah, let's do it.
So, I keep bringing back Tom's sex. She's like, do you want me to give you a hand job? No. Just sex, please.
Come on, love. It's Thursday.
Right, okay, we'll think about the pizza in a bit.
Yeah. We can do pepperoni.
Sorry, everyone.
What's the other like classic? You got margarita pepperoni.
I don't know, to be fair, but yeah, I'm game.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
So we'll do that.
point taken.
So, and what are we going to rate it? Are we going to...
Yeah, it has to be rated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On what?
0 through 10.
Yeah, but each categories. See, you have had an hour to think about this, and I'm already throwing
Basically, we go in, we order the pizza, we say 0 through 10, 0 obviously.
We have to do it outside. It's private property, so if we're in public space, then we can say what we can.
Yeah.
We can't just rock up with a camera and then shove it in their face.
0, terrible, 10, brilliant.
I'm going to be honest.
But are we going
Like,
on
if it's a
looks?
shit pizza-
If it's a shit old place, location, are we going for taste? Are we going for...
No, it has to be.
You sound
taste.
like fucking Ofsted. Not wearing the apron.
What about the staff?
No.
No,
We have
pizza,
to
that's-
just
is it
pizza.
okay.
Yeah,
Product
because otherwise we're just going to go. Yeah, it's a
Getting
really,
personal.
yeah, it's a really, yeah.
And John's got a shit attitude
Yeah.
though, hasn't he?
Pizza,
Barry
mate.
was on his phone.
I know.
Okay, yeah.
Mate,
I'm
I
cool
can't
with
wait for this, mate.
The
what
Lego
we on-
podcast, diversified.
Oh, mate, big start. What are we on there now?
that. Tom's flapping, thinking we're speaking too long.
No. I'm just thinking about pizzas here now. We're up to 35 minutes here, so
Right. A good half an hour.
good half an hour already. So yeah, so that we'll park the pizzas for a second, but it doesn't have to be pizzas.
No.
Of course not.
I like the idea of this though.
Yeah.
Food reviews, good, yeah.
So we'll do that.
It's not just Liverpool, let's travel.
Oh yeah, 100%. So we'll do that. Listen, I'm in London 2nd through to the 5th of July. I'll do pizza reviews on my own down
Yeah,
in London.
get them done.
Throw them out. So we got that. What was the other few ideas we got flapping around?
Well, old Wiki here, I think he's in charge of the old Leggett bank account. I'm saying we've not took a penny from it because Wiki fucking seems to be, because he's got a boat. Wiki's bought him a boat.
It's up at the top.
You know, you think these Michael Gove's been taking money? Fucking hell, you want to see old Wiki?
How'd you get
No.
here today, Tom? The maze.
He's got a driver on his boat. No, Tom, you have a boat.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it a boat.
I mean, it's not Wolf of Wall Street.
No.
You know, it's not the... what's
However-
it called?
Kayak.
However, the tow line I've got on my little inflatable rib, I've got a mate who works on the guy who owns Fox News' boat yacht. So I've got his
Big
tow
time.
rope. So I've got something from a super yacht on my little
We ain't breaking
inflatable.
down.
I bet you know if ropes could speak, that rope on the fucking Leeds Liverpool
Do you
canal.
know where I've been?
And it's here on the Leeds Liverpool canal, rocking up in Bootle.
Do you know where I've been? Do you know who I am?
I've
Lad,
been to
I was
Monaco.
on a
I'll have
fucking
you know.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
on a super boat last week, lad. A super yacht.
So yeah, I think what we're going to do, we're going to go from Parbold to obviously where I live. For those who don't know where Parbold is, Marbella.
It's got a middle of the
Or,
Carter.
or
That's what I know.
Yeah,
Woolville, Tennessee.
yeah, you could, yeah.
You're
So-
a Wool, Tom, but it's fine. We like you.
No, mate, thank you.
People like to bring that up, don't they?
I know. Honestly, I don't.
Do you get called a Wool quite a bit?
No.
In the comments, he does. Great
Yeah.
show, lads.
Shame
Great
about the
guest.
wall.
Shame about the wall.
I love you, Tom. It's fine. Fuck,
I
them.
do.
Mate,
Fuck the haters, mate.
no, I'm not like.
we
You're
love,
what I want to be when I grow up.
we love the woolly back ways.
So yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive. I've got a 4 horsepower 2-stroke outboard on my inflatable little rib. Can fit 3 people. Which
How
is
fast does that
perfect.
go in Andy Grant's terms?
Do you want about 4 knots?
Which is again in Andy Grant's
Probably
terms.
about 6 miles an hour.
Flying.
I'll take that. I don't even think you're allowed to go that fast on Leeds Liverpool canal. You know.
We fucking are.
Yeah, we are.
We are.
So we're gonna
Yeah, I know.
we're gonna drive it from Parbold, where I live, through to Bootle.
Stop at the Lock and Key. Shout out to the Lock and Key. I've not asked them yet, but I'm sure we'll.
And we're also going to cross the Mersey as well.
No, you're going to cross the Mersey.
We'll film from either side.
I love the Leggett podcast. I'm telling you, like, I love being a part of it, but I'm not going across the Mersey in your kayak.
Nah, I would.
If it,
I
yeah, honestly, it'd be fine.
For a laugh, I
Yeah.
would.
Then after we've done that, I'm thinking Dover Calais.
You are an idiot. Are you messing?
No, I'm being serious.
Sky News will be the other side.
Are you allowed to do that? Mate, it's the busiest shipping canal in the world, you know.
Mate, people swim across it. I can drive across it in my boat.
I've done it. Well,
Swam it?
listen to this for a story. So I went to support my mate
Fucking
who
hell.
swam across it, right? I talk all the time about motivation, inspiration, right? And if I see people doing something cool, I'm like, wow, I want to do that. That's the type of person I am. I saw my mate in a pair of ballies, Steve Stone, shout out to you, wake up at 4 a.m. and jump in the English Channel and swim it. And it did not inspire me one bit.
Really?
Mate, it was treacherous. He, you know, got in his ballies, literally walked, you know, off the beach in Dover, and he swam for about 6 hours and was halfway across, and the tide was too bad, and he went, no,
They called it?
You're going to have to stop, yeah.
Did he do it?
No, you only got halfway
Like the
across.
wave pool of heat waves when we
He-
kids. Jesus Christ. Treacherous.
That noise is coming, you'd be like,
Yeah,
shit.
shit. Where's my man?
We're going to do it. I promise
Mate,
you.
I don't think there's got to be...
Let's just go Parbo Boodle.
Yeah,
And then
God.
literally...
Leave the Blue Canal, he's trying to do immigrant crossings here.
let's
Nigel Farage at the end.
Let's take stock at the boozer.
Yeah.
The Loch and Keane or whatever it's called. Let's take stock there and then look where we're going.
All right.
But I think just a little booze cruise, Parbowl to Bootle.
Every...
See how it goes.
Every
If it
minute
goes
film.
well, maybe we can like invite a guest on or something
yeah, and
each
then
week.
and then we cross the Mersey with the guest.
Imagine a podcast.
The Boat Chronicle.
If we imagine if we could get like a tripod set up on the boat. I mean, I've never been on your boat, Tom, but like we got like a few
So
GoPros.
ridiculous.
No, a few GoPros on the boat,
Yeah.
and we had like just a crate of beer.
I've just got an image
And
of like
just a
Paddy
little-
Pimley. Paddy Pimley's one in a life jacket. It's like, the fucking hell.
Paddy and I,
I've got to fight in 2 weeks.
Jamie Webster on the guitar, and those three sitting there just listening, singing "Come By Our."
It's absolutely sodden.
It does work, I promise.
I love that.
I would.
You know, the Leeds of the Pearl Canal on a sunny evening is
No, mate,
quite
it's-
beautiful. To be
Yeah,
fair,
it's brilliant.
No one can say we're trying to be
Listen,
conventional.
You know
we're
what?
fucking putting out ideas here. We're trying our best at the Leggett Podcast
Well, no, I
HQ,
don't,
aren't we?
I don't agree with like trying our best to like to please anyone. You know, one of my favourite films is The Gambler.
Yeah.
Funny old thing with Mark Wahlberg,
Yeah.
and there's a line in it where he's a big fat guy. He's a great actor, and he talks about the position of "fuck you."
Yeah.
It's a great line and a great little speech, and he talks about you get yourself in life to a position of "fuck you" where you don't have to answer to anyone. And I feel like the podcasting a little bit like, you know, who we answer, like, I'm not after the money for it, I'm not after the views. I feel like if people want to watch, great. If they don't, great.
If we go from Parbo to Bool, us three, and have the best laugh ever,
Yeah.
loads of beers.
Even if we lose a camera, the
Yeah,
SD
we lose a
cards,
camera.
yeah, who gives
Yeah.
a fuck with that?
Potentially
If every comment,
it'd be a laugh.
if it's the first time we hit 1 million views and they're all this is shit,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'm
Yeah.
asked. Like,
What's that saying at the end of Layer Cake when he's in that warehouse and he goes, "You get a little bit higher."
that's at the start of Harry Finley's autobiography.
Is it?
Yeah, no, it's at the start. I think of the film. He says, you get old in life. He says you take a little bit of shit.
Then you get a little bit higher.
Yeah,
you
and you take a little bit more shit, and then until one day, you're in a position where
No, you take a little less shit until you're in a position. Yeah, it's at the end when they're in that warehouse, aren't they?
That's the friends, the layer cake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome
To
to
be
the
fair,
Layer
like,
Cake. Welcome to the Layer Cake, son.
We've had this conversation, like, not to go on a tangent, but we've had this conversation, like, sort of without the cameras. If you're like afraid to do something different or to like, then you're never going to do anything in your life, are you?
No.
Like, what
No.
can we, you know, we start branching out and we're doing all this stuff and we're just having a laugh. What can we lose?
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, if we sit here in 6 months and we do another one of these and we go, all right, the Lego podcast is here. We did that. It wasn't very good. Everyone laughed. No one laughed there. So what?
Yeah,
And I
100%.
think, mate, like the feedback you'll get, whether it's negative, whether it's positive, that's feedback you would never have got if you never had to go.
No.
Yeah.
You can't be in life in general. You cannot be scared to have a go at anything. Do you know what I mean? If you constantly live your life in the fact that I can't do that because someone might say I'm crap, or someone might say that's crap, you'll never do anything in your life.
I see
You've gotta
videos
be
all the
prepared to
time
be
on like
crap.
Instagram where people like try and have a go, and they finally did have a go, and they make like these amazing videos, and they're like, you know what, guys, do it, have a go, because it's not as bad as you probably think it's gonna be.
The first time you do anything's going to be shit. Just get comfortable with that, and then from there, there's only one way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's up,
100%.
innit? Do you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
of course, mate. Yeah.
The first time you do anything, you know, you're probably not going to reach your expectation, but keep grafting away and keep doing it, you're going to hit a point where, you know, you become competent and then you become good.
Yeah. And the benefit of when at the start no one's watching, so even if you do fuck up, like no one's watching, so who cares?
No, we're halfway through our journey now, so loads of people are going to be watching.
Yeah. Andy and Tom meant to be good. I've got a free ticket.
Yeah.
I can jump in or do whatever I want.
Obviously, I would like it if people enjoyed it, but at the same time,
Yeah, we're just going to do these fun little things, aren't they?
The thing is, like, obviously, what we've said is, you know, we want the Lego podcast to become, you know, bigger than, you know, just a podcast on a Monday. You know, the reason we did the Sportcast and the reason we're doing this and the reason we're going to do, you know, live events and all this stuff is because the Lego podcast, we want it to be bigger than that. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, I'd love it if people went, you know what, mate, I'm on to you and Tom every Monday. I'm not really into the Sportscast, but you and Tom are a belter. I'd love if someone else went, mate, those food reviews that the three of you do is fucking great. I don't really watch the other stuff, but the food reviews are great.
Yeah.
And then someone else went, oh, mate, that 40 minutes every Friday you and George makes me weak, but I don't really watch it. That's fine.
Yeah.
If we can just offer something to different people, 100%. I'd be happy.
Yeah. I'm incredibly proud of, like, I listened to your episode that you did with Paul Cheetham. Shout out to Paul Cheetham from Sedula.
Yeah.
Big accountancy firm, obviously Liverpool, so anyone needs any accountancy bits and pieces, speak to Sedula.
You haven't paid to say that?
Nope.
No.
No. And you said on it, Paul asked you a question and you just said, do you know what the overarching thing is? Just incredibly proud. It is mad.
100%, mate.
It is a mad, genuinely, like I've said this so many times, it is, you know, regardless of what content you put out there, it is hard to get people to listen and watch it. Yeah. Like, you might think it's the best thing ever, you put so much effort into it, and there's so many YouTube channels, so many podcasts, there's probably podcasts that are, you know, a third of the listeners that we get, that may even be better than us. But, yeah, it's just incredible.
Well, there's so much out there, isn't there, that
just give up their time and give up an hour, whether it's to the Sportscast, whether it's 2 hours, 3 hours to...
And that's why, mate, I've always been a person who tries to promote people, and, you know, and that's why I say, if you want to do a podcast, go for it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There is a big enough cake that everyone can have a slice, but stick with it and do it for the right reasons.
I say that, like, not to turn this into, like, a big, deep chat, but, like, personally, I'm in competition with no one but myself anyway. Like, I'd never look at somebody and go, oh, they're doing this and they're better than me or they're worse than me. Like, if you just focus on what you're doing and you just try and get better at that, then you just leave everyone else to do their own thing. Do you know what I mean? There's enough space for us all.
Definitely.
As long as we just keep cracking on, you know, we try to get better every week. We try to bring something that people don't see on other channels. You know, we can't lose, really.
Yeah. Because and the point of that is that, unfortunately, you know, we see everyone else's show reel.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, from whether it's social media, and the unfortunate thing is we see our own failures from a front row seat, don't we?
Yeah, 100%.
And, you know, we look at things that we could do better, we think about, oh, I'm not confident in that, or blah blah blah, but we see everyone who, what seems to, you know, people who listen to this might think us three are the most confident people to sat in front of a microphone. Like, fuck me, on Friday I was shitting myself.
Yeah,
like,
it's not true, isn't it?
you know, but people don't, you know, we see our own failures from a front row seat.
Maybe we should do a podcast on, like, we all have a little think of the 3 biggest times we've been so, like, embarrassed or we fucked up or ashamed. Rather than give it, like, we do a podcast just on our fuck-ups.
100%.
Imagine that.
Yeah, every Saturday morning.
Love, I'm sorry.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because social media is perfection, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
And, you know, we've got to this point in the world and in society where, like, you can't fail. You know, you just spoke about this plenty of times and sort of have a listen, but, you know, the one thing, you know, I'm no perfect person by any stretch of imagination, but I'm not afraid to fail 100% with conviction. Like, if I fail 1,000,000 times, I could not care less because I know one time I won't. And I think, you know, if there's more people in the world who can just be like, sod it, you know what I mean?
You know, I think that's a really, it's really powerful, mate, and I think we should actually genuinely do this podcast. You know, one thing that people don't know about me is I'm probably giving one of my failures away here for the podcast, shouldn't say this, but I obviously broke this world record and became the fastest amputee in the world. Not many people know this, but I attempted it a year before and failed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
No, I didn't.
So now everyone thinks, he's fastest one-legged man in the world, and yet I am now. But a year before, I invited 20 people. My best mate Ian come down from Scotland, his wife Gemma and the kids, their sister Gemma and David, my other best mate up the Marines Ryan come down and pace set for me. All my family come down, loads of mates, about 20 people come up to Southport, and I ran 10k down Southport, a really windy day, and I ran it 10k in 42 minutes, 5 minutes behind the record. I had reporters there waiting for me at the end, ready to interview me, and they were just like...
Did they interview you?
Not at the end, no.
They fucking bailed?
No, well, before they did, yeah, and then there was just nothing really to talk about, was there?
That's good, that, though, because it's a massive message, isn't it? Because, like...
Maybe no one, you know what I mean? And I obviously don't shout about it because it was embarrassing at the time.
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to talk about it now. But, no one sees that.
That makes you, though. Like, I've had many times in my life, like, you know, with, like, the football and stuff like that, where I thought I would be set, and I didn't reach where I should have got. But it's only as you get... I think it's only as you get older you start to accept it, don't you? I don't know, a couple of years past since you've done that, and where you can look back on it with confidence and say, like, you know, yeah, I did fail, but so what?
Yeah.
But I think you've got to get to a certain point in your life, and I think we've got a platform and a podcast where we can say to people, like, maybe people younger than us or at a different start of their journey, like, don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid of someone saying, haha, you didn't do it.
Yeah,
Because
I think that could be a really powerful
it'd be a brilliant
podcast.
podcast, that,
So
wouldn't
get
it?
thinking of your 3 biggest regrets, failures, mistakes. Get thinking of them.
And also, like, it's very like, we always look at things very one-dimensionally. Like, if you look at Tiger Woods, you think, you know, incredible golfer, incredible amount of money, but you don't look at, you know, relationships failing.
It's the
and
Michael Jordan thing, don't you?
Yeah,
I think I've missed 5,000 shots in my life, but I made one. You know, like, it's fact, and you know, it's not sort of like this like thing that people preach. It's genuine fact. All the people that you see who you perceive to be successful have failed before. Every single one of them. I don't care who they are.
And every time Tiger Woods, like you say, is getting told he's just won this, he's fucking having murder at home.
Yeah. Got pulled over, wasn't he? Found asleep in it.
DUI,
yeah, DUI. And
life's not perfect though, is it?
No.
And no one should ever perceive it to be perfect. That's why, like, I'm on Instagram now, but I weren't for a long time, and that was the reason I weren't, because I hate it, because I've got young kids, and like the amount of times my house is an absolute, like, a bomb site. Like, me and me missus are maybe having a little go at each other or whatever, but then someone, like, and I know other people in the position, but then they'll put a picture on saying, oh, great day, you know, kids are being great. But it's not the truth, do you know what I mean?
You're looking around at your house thinking,
what the fuck?
what am I doing with my life?
My daughter's just chinned me son. He's kicking up, do you know what I mean? But like, it's true, do you know? The stuff that people, like, people will only show you the good bits, do you know what I mean? We've all got a chapter we don't want to shout about.
I was guilty
Everyone's
of it,
got secrets.
Me and Tom done a talk about this from one of the early shows I done when I was going through a really tough time, mate. I was with my daughter's mum. That relationship was coming to an end, and I was absolutely heartbroken that relationship was coming to an end. I was getting kicked out the family home, and I had a motivational talk to do. When I done this motivational talk, got a standing ovation, got a photo, put the photo on Instagram, and was like, another motivational talk done, standing ovation, thanks everyone for hearing my story. Got in a taxi and cried all the way home.
Yeah.
You know, I was sleeping on my couch. I think it was my dad's couch. I was getting kicked out of my house. I couldn't see my daughter.
Did you have a Sunday dinner outside or something like
that? Was another time, yeah. Another time, you know, I come home pissed as a fart, thinking I was the man with the boys, and you know, there's a Sunday roast sitting on the step, and you know. But on Instagram, if you saw me, you'd go, he's out with all the lads having a ball, and then,
I think it takes, like, in this day and age, it takes bravery to come to the fore, doesn't it, and say, like, my life's not perfect, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, like, none of us, like, us three can't sit here now and say everything in our life now is bob on, because it's not. And, like, the quicker people get comfortable with, like, being sort of uncomfortable and saying, you know, I'm not sound, or, like, you know, everything in my life's not great, then that's when we start breaking that mental health stigma that people talk about. Because we can start to be comfortable with the imperfections.
But you know what, mate? It does, and I like that you brought on that. It doesn't have to be this whole kind of, not that I'm against anyone who wants to do it this way, but you don't have to sit around in a circle and hold hands and like, you know, I don't know, you don't have to. It could be just going for a beer or two or a coffee or a walk with your mate, and you just don't have to hug and cry on each other. If you want to, you crack on if you need to do that.
Yeah.
But it could just be a case of sitting like we are now, a couple of beers and just go, yeah, you know what, fucking shit, you know.
You've got to get yourself into a position and surrounded by people though where you can do it.
Yeah.
like you've got to get to a position where you can, and I totally believe you have to have friends where you can say, look, things aren't great, and they won't be like, oh, things are great in my life. Do you know what I mean? You need to get someone where you go to,
I've been to Tenerife, I've been to 11
exactly that, and you've got to, you know, you have friends who go, oh, isn't it like what can we do about it? How can we fix it? Like, how do we move from A to B? But
massively, mate. Yeah.
And I think that it's just imperative in life, innit? But the world we live in now, where, you know, everyone's sort of saying talk and stuff like that, you know, it's much deeper than that. You know, it's a society problem, really.
Yeah, of course, mate. Yeah, we spoke about it with your dad actually.
Yeah,
when he was.
My dad's big on it, really, because obviously he backs up like the charities of Stamp Out Suicide.
Suicide, yeah.
You know, I think my dad wouldn't, you know, begrudge me saying this. Like, my dad, from the outside, my dad's got a great life and stuff like that, but he has his struggles. He has things like that in his past that he doesn't sort of deal with properly and stuff like that. And for me and him have had a beer and spoke about things, but he's more than confident about doing that. But if someone like that, who is a success, can sit there and go, like, you know, my life's so positive, then that might say to someone, like, to say, you know, hey, this is mine. Do you know what I mean? But just because your life's not perfect doesn't mean you can't deal with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, doesn't mean you can't fix it, or you can't, like, you know, move on. You can still be a positive, you can still be a success, you can still have all the things you want in your life, but things don't have to be on a straight line.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I think that's where the position of fuck you comes from again, though. It's like, it doesn't have to be, I've got loads of money, no one can tell me what to do, fuck you. It can be like, yeah, my life's not perfect, I know it's not,
but I'm happy with it.
And I can talk to mates about it, and it's shit, but you know what, it is what it is.
I'm like that though, like, I'm 28 now, but, you know, it's took me to have, you know, get married and have kids and stuff to be able to say, like, to be truly comfortable with myself. Whereas, like, I'm in a position now, and I can confidently say, like, if someone called me a CUNT, it wouldn't really affect me, because I know who I am and I know what I'm about.
You know, you can say cunt.
Yeah, but I didn't really want to, kids watching. But, like, you know, I didn't want to, like, you know, if someone said that to me, then I'd be okay with it. But, like, not everyone's in that position, do you know what I mean? And I think that's the glory position to get to, where you know yourself and you understand your worth, and you know, no matter what this person says positive or this person says negative, I'm still going to be okay.
Yeah,
it's a good point, mate. Really is.
And mate, that's again bringing it back to the podcast, mate. There's a lot of people who listen to the podcast who maybe work on their own, and they listen to these things, and they've probably got these things going on in their head, and they're thinking, well, you know, the podcast, I think, and me and you, Tom, I know we answer the messages that we can. We'll have to throw you on it, Jord, as well, so you can. But I think we do a pretty good job of answering, you know, a lot of the messages that come our way. So if you do feel like you are struggling, or you do want to reach out, then I'd like to think, you know, we're not therapists, we're not like trained people, but, you know,
we are normal lads.
Normal lads, and the advice won't always be great or the best, but.
And if there's a spare space on the boat, you're more than welcome.
I think we should start raffling them off.
Charge it.
Let's just raffle them off.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
That's what we should do. We should find a boat, or like some sort of transport. Do a Patreon special. Do you know what I mean?
You paying for this boat, are you, George?
I don't know.
George's like, let's get a helicopter.
Get all the lads on Grand Canyon.
Mate, I did a Top Gear trip last July 2019, where we all bought a car for 500 quid. Had to be under 500 quid, and drove it from where we live, Parble Way, surrounding areas, down to Newquay, and it was fucking tremendous.
Yeah, that's quality.
It was
this is what I want to be doing.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
What cars can we get for cheap?
Any car dealers, don't message the podcast, message me directly.
I'm better than Freddie Flintoff, I'm telling you now.
Well, we had like some Land Cruiser, an old Toyota Classic. Well, your dad will know. Your dad will know.
I'll turn up in the best bike that you've ever seen.
Maybe we had a Toyota.
I feel like I'm at a disadvantage. You've done it before in your half. Well, that's the best fucking used car dealer in Liverpool.
You'll be in a taxi.
I'll be blagging it, mate. I've only got one leg, lad. Please, come on.
Well, we had like, it wasn't a
What, was it only like one tank of petrol or something? Or was the fastest to get there, or what?
Yeah, so we had a race.
You can crash the least.
Maybe I nailed into their car hard. It's like a
Tom comes across as like, if people didn't know him, I mean, I know him now, but I mean, people wouldn't think that you'd be like nailing into people, crashing into them.
I hit them hard. Hit them hard. So we went from call it Liverpool to Stonehenge. Rocked up at Stonehenge. Couldn't get in Stonehenge, it was too busy. Then we went from Stonehenge to
Stonehenge like Gloucestershire way, innit?
Yeah, Gloucester. Yeah, just off, not far off the M5. Then from Gloucester down, so from Stonehenge down to Newquay, which was a race.
So what's the petrol situation? Just crack on.
Well,
normally?
initially it was a case of we have to get to Stonehenge without using maps, but everyone's got a fucking phone, haven't they?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
bullshit. I'm
So,
not having
like,
none of that. I
yeah.
think the petrol shot's the best.
I'd be screwed.
We did initially have the petrol thing. It's funny you should mention that. We did initially have the petrol thing, but kind of just got fucking thrown out the window. We started the race. I'll be honest with you. I was driving from Stonehenge down to Newquay, so there was 5 in our car,
5 up, yeah.
I'd be on weight distribution then.
Yeah,
and then there was 5 in the other car.
I'd be taking my leg off and everything, less weight.
Oh mate, we had
Out the window.
we had all sorts of stickers.
It just reminds me of seeing a video where they're pushing the thing, they're pushing the van, and the fella's in the back pushing it. He's like on the van though, pushing it.
We had, yeah, mate. There's all the usual stupid like dildos on the roof and fucking on the front bonnet and what was
That's
some
a fucking idea, that.
yeah, mate, some of the stickers.
Any ideas like that, people need to comment and message. I think I'd love to do something like that.
Yeah, I think, with all the stuff we should do, we should definitely do some challenges as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
in
mate.
terms of like, just doing some obscure stuff. You're a bit of an adrenaline junkie, so you can keep the planes to yourself. But, do you know what I mean? Like some big challenges and like.
Well, mate, I'm doing my paramotoring course in September.
No, he's asked me to keep
You
getting on it.
you para what?
Paramotoring,
What's like the
paragliding, but it's got a motor on the back. So we could throw in a bit of flying in there. I could try and beat you.
Imagine that.
our video? I ain't flying.
Yeah, no, I'm game. Let's go for cars initially. Let's go for cars.
So like, yeah. Anyway, so we blitzed it from Newquay. It all got a little bit heated. I'll be honest with you. Like there was it's
Few
stupid.
flights.
It's stupid, isn't it? When you're trying to, this fucking car shaking. You're doing 120 on an A road.
I know,
like-
I'm forgetting it's a £500 car as well.
Yeah, it is. It was a.
No
At the end, we were like, listen, I'm gonna kill
Someone's
5.
gonna get hurt,
Yeah,
though.
someo's gonna like 5. I'm gonna end up in a fucking collision where
What
5
are you
people
in
die.
for, mate? I went to Stonehenge.
The £500
Me and
Fiat.
my 5 mates went to Stonehenge and it fucking ended badly.
Hey, hang on, I'll be going. That's what I'll be fucking doing. When we start.
Oh, don't put that on. Be murdering here.
When are we getting the cars, boys? I got blown up in this helmet,
I was going to say, watch your step.
Mad, that, isn't it?
This exact helmet got blown up in it.
I did alright after.
I've got fucking PTSD just wearing it.
So yeah, we need to do shit like that, don't we?
Yeah, no, I'm up for that, mate, defo. Any other challenges, then yeah, comment.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, it got a bit deep at times, that, then.
I don't mind that though.
How long have we been
Yeah, over an
chatting
hour.
for?
Yeah.
You
I
said
just want to
you-
say, like, on Friday, it was an absolute pleasure for everyone. 150 people turned up. It was an absolute pleasure. Rob Pope absolutely
Right.
fucking smashed it. What an incredible guy. 5,006. Sorry, you said it in the interview, didn't you? 5,678.
15,500 and 10,000 and 1 million and 2.
15,600 miles, 422 days across America. He smashed it. John May smashed it.
I'm not
It's
been starstruck much in my life, right? But when Rob come off the stage, I was like, mate, I've got to go over there and hug him.
You know what was interesting is John May is obviously a lot more popular on Instagram, if you like, and he's a lot more recognisable in Liverpool. But John May's not listening, but I think more people were in awe of Rob Pope, which isn't surprising given what he's done.
Mate, 100.
But I just mean with
I was
like
sat next to my dad, right? Sat next to my dad, and we like at this point we hadn't really, we'd had a few beers, but we, you weren't drunk or nothing like that. And he goes,
I don't believe you for a second.
we had out all day. My dad was just like, wow, and I was like, I know, it's mad, isn't it? Because he's so authentically himself. It's sort of hard to believe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like,
so like
Yeah.
matter of fact, just
Yeah.
I feel like at the end when we kept talking and we kind of, I was like, I feel like I had to I've said this to you both, I think. I had to reiterate, like,
what you've
imagine run
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
like New York to London on a good day is 6 hours flying. He's done that 5 fucking times.
I think
come to the rest
that
of the forest as well, unbelievable.
I think that's even I don't think it's a good analogy. It's not the best. I just think imagine running a marathon every day for 422 days. That would be hard enough. Imagine running now a marathon plus 11 miles every day.
Do you know
For
what the mad thing for
422
me is?
days.
He says like, oh yeah, I was just running, and then I ran like a 40 mile, and then I thought, might as well keep going. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's not a normal train of thought.
No.
Everyone else thinks, where's the closest gaff to eat?
Yeah. Funny enough, we started off talking about previous podcasts. That is one where I would go and revisit if you want to listen to an amazing inspirational story.
Yeah.
Rob Pope
I
is...
think, you know what, I'd love to get Rob on, you know, with you two lads or as a three or anything, and just speak to him, like, just cut the running out.
Get him on the boat.
You know, just speak
Yeah.
to him and be like, you know, just genuine, any conversation, like, about anything. Because I think he's got so much, many pearls of wisdom that we can all take.
Massively.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
From him.
I
And the
agree.
way he, like, approaches his life.
I agree.
Legend. If you're watching Rob.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I mean, massive thank you to everyone who even listens, anyone who just sends it on WhatsApp to their mates. Just, it's incredible. Like, over 1 million downloads the other month.
We're reaching nearly 1 million just on YouTube now.
Mad, isn't it?
Yeah, closing in.
There's probably no one listening. We've talked about Tom's sex life, margarita pizzas. We've had boats,
I know,
Top
it's
Gear.
always
element.
fucking targeted towards me, isn't it?
Throw me it back then as well.
No, I'm joking. No, honestly, really enjoyed it, honestly. The 2.5 years have fucking flown by, haven't they?
No, mate, listen.
A lot's fucking changed in 2.5 years, really, isn't it?
Hey, you've carried this, Tom. I'll come on and say, mate, I would not have been doing this without you, mate. So special thanks to you.
Oh, thank you, likewise as well.
You've done
Aye,
amazing.
lads, fucking hell.
It's great to have Jordan on recently, mate. And
Yeah.
massive thanks again to everyone who's listened. Special thanks to those who support us on Patreon, because that is where we want to take it.
100%. Just three lads having a laugh. That's what it is.
And if you enjoyed that laugh, then give us £1 a week.
Best job in the world.
Nice one, everyone.
Thanks so much.